Hi, welcome to week 11. This is our introduction to philosophy video, and I'm Mark Thorsby. Hello, everyone. First off, I should apologize. I meant to post this video sooner, but on Monday I was sick, and so I didn't get a chance to post it. And then the rest of my week is already planned out, so it's been hard for me to get a chance to post this video. But here I am anyway. I think most of you probably watched the video on Saturday anyhow, so I don't think it should be too much of a problem. Let me go over what we're going to be doing this week and what we have done this week, and then make a few announcements. The first thing is this week there's only going to be 2 lectures because I was sick, so our first 2 lectures are combined. And in that first lecture, what we take a look at is a number of the criticisms against utilitarian theory, and both from Carrot and also from Bernard Williams, and sort of devastating criticisms against utilitarianism, I think. And then finally, in that lecture, we take a look at John Rawls's theory on justice, and he essentially falls in line with other social contract theorists. The social contract theorists we've looked at in this course is Jean-Jacques Rousseau. We've even talked about Thomas Hobbes, but he's a sort of modern, contemporary 20th century social contract theorist. But his social contract theory revolves around the question and articulation for the principles of justice, which is what our reading selection concerns. And there's a few key points that I discuss, and also you should gain from the reading, which is number one, his discussion understanding the structure of society, and his analysis of what he calls the veil of ignorance, and as well as what he calls the original position. Those are some key ideas that he discusses you should be aware of. And ultimately, of course, his articulation of what justice is in terms of it boils down to 2 key principles. One, which is maximization of liberty, and I would call the other one, to give it a summation here, would be the minimization of inequality. And essentially, he sort of builds a framework for how to develop the best sort of society. So take a look at that, read that. It's an exciting and interesting discussion. In our second session, which I'm calling Subversive Voices, we take a look at this thinker, Michel Foucault, who really offers an alternative vision or analysis of justice in our society. Now, he doesn't really talk about justice per se, or at least not in what we're reading. But what Foucault does is he begins to argue that we tend to think of the Enlightenment view here is that the state social contract allows for the maximization of liberty, and so we have certain power structures, but ultimately they reside in the sovereignty of the state. This is sort of the Enlightenment view. And Foucault basically articulates an alternative view. It says that's not really true. But actually what we have is something much different, and actually power exists within social institutions and social practices. And in particular, we're looking at his work on Discipline and Punishment. Discipline and Punish, where the body plays a key role in the articulation of power structures within our society. And so, but ultimately this means that social contract theory is what's the word I want here? Social contract theory ultimately boils down to too simplistic an analysis of society. So Michel Foucault does this. Very interesting thinker, one of my favorite philosophers of the 20th century. And then after talking about the discussion of what power is, we then turn to a short discussion of Foucault's ethics in terms of his essay Technologies of the Self, in which he begins to articulate what I would call modes of resistance against the subjugation of the self and identity. So, and of course, and finally, he talks a lot about Stoicism, among other things, and so we also have a short reading selection here from Marcus Aurelius' Meditations. Now, we've already discussed the Meditations before, or Stoicism before, so what I really want you to see in bringing up the Stoics again is to see it as an example of a technology of the self that's sort of resistant, that it's a mode of resistance. So I wanted to sort of rethink Stoicism given Foucault. So there's a subversive alternative view here. to the sort of enlightenment ideal that we've been discussing, that I think you see, well, certainly in Kant when we looked at an answer to the question, what is enlightenment, but also I think you see it in Rawls. And so, and over in Rousseau and a number of other thinkers. So that's what we're doing this week. Also, please make sure to note that to do the discussion board, hit up our discussion board for this week, and also the Foucault readings. This is all located in your online course library. It's not in your textbook, as well as there's questions. The questions I think just come under Foucault for this online reading selection. Also, the paper is being moved. The next paper, paper number 2, I'm moving it. I'm giving you an extension. That will be due November 22nd. November 22nd. So I'm moving the paper, but I still want you to post the title by the end of this week on Monday. But I'm going to move it to the 22nd. So that gives you, it gives you about an extra week to write that paper. So please take note, and I'll post another announcement online so you can see that that deadline is shifted. Okay, well, that's what we're doing for this week. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Have a good weekend. Keep the things rolling in. Okay, and also the grades are all being posted now. So I hope you've gone and checked your grade, because it either is posted or will be posted fairly shortly. But I've finished grading all the discussion boards and pretty much all the homeworks. I just need to upload them and all the papers. Okay. So it's been a good week. So I'll talk to you guys and see you. Well, you'll see me, I guess, next Monday. Okay. Bye.